So, during Ken's run, and we've talked about this many times before, and others have talked about it, but I think the biggest question is, did Ken really think that implying, well, I wouldn't say implying, but did Ken Penders really think that putting sex, or at least implying sex, in the Archie Sonic books was going to, make them sell? Did he think maybe it was going to help him keep his job? Those are very good questions. And look, when it comes to Ken Penders, obviously he likes to, as the word goes, well, not the word, but as the saying goes, Ken is one of those, I guess you could say, old school, and I've mentioned this before, old school writers that, feels that if you do something that's going to shock the system, if you do something that's going to shock the system, it's going to, kind of basically, get people talking for a long time, then, why not go and do it, even if it doesn't make any sense? Or if it doesn't make any sense, it's not necessary. And obviously, Ken felt that if he would have done a lot of these things, it would get people talking, even years later. And when you look at 150, you look at, what people noticed with that Bunnie and Evil Sonic scene, and then, again, what he said he wanted to do, but wasn't able to do because, Archie Comics changed their tone, they kind of backpedaled. It makes you really think if perhaps he thought if, including that scene, or at least showing a panel where that's, the event was mentioned, or even implying, like with this, that something had occurred, it just really gets you wondering if he thought putting the implication of sex taking place in some kind in the book was going to not only get people talking, but keep his job, maybe keep him on longer, or even indicating, long after he was gone, that one of his plans, storyline-wise, because Archie wanted to go in a different direction, was to acknowledge that sex had taken place. It's just one of those situations where you just, when you try to dive into the mindset of Ken Penders, it's really a convoluted mess. It really is a convoluted mess because, he is a good writer when he's given the right material to work with. He's a good writer. Let's not take that away from him. But you have to wonder if he couldn't tell the difference between an all ages comic and a comic set for mature readers. Because even with an all ages comic, you don't imply perhaps that something happened between two characters, which is the takeaway everybody is taking with 150. That is the takeaway they've taken with it, is that something did happen. Although, as I've mentioned before, I stick by the fact that I think it was something more oral than anything else. But, again, you have to wonder if maybe he couldn't tell the difference. Couldn't tell the difference because, it's one thing to, show the characters in the future, having kids and all that, and that's good. At least hey, they had a family, they did the deed and everything, but that was long ago. And here's the end result: kids that basically look like, the carbon copies. If you get my drift. But it did. But you have to think. Did he get confused? Did he have a bit of confusion, not realizing that, what he wanted to do, had, look, let's give him credit. Had Archie Comics gone through with what they were originally planning back then maybe, yeah, we would have seen something as a result. But, even so, you have to wonder, you have to wonder, even if they would have done it, would he have gone all the way through with it, not just with, Sally and Jeffrey like he wanted to, but with Bunnie and Evil Sonic? Would he have gone more into detail? Would he have shown more of what, was implicated? And that's something to really think about. It really is. Again, I'm not saying that, he would have gone all the way. I'm not saying that, had Archie Comics decided to go that more mature route back when he was on the book, I'm not saying that he would have put that in, or they would have rejected it. I'm not saying anything of that. I'm just thinking, what would he have done? What would he have gone? How far would he have gone? That's the implication, or that's the question. It's like, how far would he have gone? Because even though, like I said, Archie Comics backtracked, he's, as I mentioned in a video, basically, I think he did this scene here. I think he put this scene in 150 as a way to make up, in a very friendly, cleaner way, make up for the fact that he couldn't put that scene, or he couldn't, put a panel indicating something had occurred between Jeffrey and Sally in the book previously. So instead, he went with this here, with Bunnie and Evil Sonic. So you have to, again, you have to wonder exactly if they would have gone not all the way, but if they had gone that mature route, would they have, okayed the story? Would they have rejected the story? How far would they have gone and everything? And again, you have to also wonder if he thought putting implications of sex happening between characters was a good idea. Was a good idea for a story that would get people talking. You have to really think about that. You have to think about that because, again, he was writing for an all-ages comic, not for something that's targeted at mature audiences. And I think maybe that's where he got a little bit confused. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts down below? Comment if you like. Love to hear from you.